Hello friends, welcome to our channel Vidyadhara. Today we are going to start class 9 physics chapter 2, which is force and laws of motion. So let's begin. Our first topic is what is force. So first thing is that force is denoted with F. Capital F. A pull or push on a body is called a force. So this is the definition of force, or by this we can define a force. So a pull or push on a body is called a force. For example, when we open or close a door, we apply a force on it. So we can open or close a door by applying a force. Means we, for opening a door, we have to pull or push it. So that is a force. Force is a vector quantity. In the previous chapter, I have told you what is scalar quantity and what is vector quantity. So vector quantity is that which have magnitude as well as direction. So force is a vector quantity as it also has magnitude and direction. SI unit of force is Newton, and Newton is denoted with N. Formula of force. Force is equals to mass into acceleration, or F is equals to ma. F means force, m means mass, and a means acceleration. Derivation of this formula we will study ahead. So let's move ahead now. Effects of forces on a body. A force can make the following effects on a body. It can move a body which is at rest. It can stop a moving body. It can change the direction of a moving body. It change the speed of a moving body. It can change the shape and size of an object. Hence, this all are the effects of forces on a body. It can move a body at rest. It can stop a moving body. It can change the direction of a moving body. It can change the speed of a moving body, and it can change the shape and size of a moving body. If we apply force, so this all effects can be done by applying a force. So let's move ahead now. Types of forces based on contact. These are the types of forces based on contact. So there are two types of forces based on contact. First is contact force and second is non-contact force. So what is contact force? So the forces which are produced in contact with its origin are called contact forces. Means if a force has contact with its origin, then the force is said to be contact force. Muscular force and frictional forces are some example of contact force. Muscular force and frictional force are some contact forces. So second is non-contact force. What is non-contact force? The force which are produced without being in contact with its origin are called non-contact force. It's just opposite of contact forces. It don't have any origin with their contact. Magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational forces are some example of non-contact forces. This gravitational force we'll study in third chapter, and magnetic force and electrostatic forces are in class 10th. So let's move ahead now. Types of forces based on balance. This is based on balance. So there are two types of forces based on balance. First is balanced force, second is unbalanced force. So first we will study what is balanced force. When a number of forces acting simultaneously on a body do not bring any change in the state of rest or state of motion, these are called balanced forces. Means many forces if acting on one body and the body is still at rest, then the forces acting on it are known as balanced forces. Means like a bicycle is moving. Means bicycle is moving, there are many forces acting on it, but it is still moving, then it is unbalanced force. But if the bicycle is at rest, then it is balanced forces, because then friction is also acting on it and gravitational forces also acting on it, so still it is at rest, so that is an example of balanced force. unbalanced force. When a number of forces acting on a body brings changes in the state of rest or motion, these are called unbalanced force. Means if number of forces acting on a body bring changes in the state of rest or state of motion are called unbalanced forces. If a bicycle is moving and you stop paddling, then it will stop. That is unbalanced force. It will stop due to frictional force. So let's move ahead. Now, what is inertia? What is inertia? For studying Newton's first law of motion, we need to study what is inertia. So, the property of an object due to which it resists any change in its state of rest or state of motion is called inertia. I will give a simple example. When you are sitting in a car or bus, if the vehicle turns left, you automatically turn right. This is because of inertia. Our body resists the change of rest or change of motion, and this property of an object is called inertia. So let's move ahead. Next topic is what is momentum. So first thing is that momentum is denoted with small p. Capital P is pressure and small p is momentum. So momentum is denoted with small p. So its definition is the product of mass and the velocity of an object is called its momentum. This is simple definition. Mass into velocity is momentum. Here is the formula. So momentum is vector quantity. The SI unit of momentum is kg meter per second. This is the SI unit and momentum is a vector quantity. Formula of momentum is equals to mass into velocity, or P is equals to m into v. M is mass and v is velocity, and p, small p, is momentum. So let's move ahead. So Newton's laws of motion. This is the main topic of this chapter. So there are Newton's 3 laws of motion. First law, second law and third law. So first law also defined as inertia, law of inertia, or it defines inertia. Second law defines the force, and third law describes the action and reaction of force. So let's study these 3 laws briefly. So Newton's first law of motion. This is Newton's first law of motion. So Newton's first law of motion states that a body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion will continue its motion in an uniform speed unless an external force is applied on it. Means if we don't apply a force on an object which is at rest or at motion, then its state will remain as previous. Like if an object is moving and there is no external force, then the object will not stop, and a body at rest will not move until a force is applied on it. So this was Newton's first law of motion, and this only describes the inertia because it resists the change in the state of motion or state of rest. So the Newton's second law of motion. This is Newton's second law of motion. So Newton's second law of motion defines the force. The force applied on a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum and inversely proportional to the time taken. This is the second law of motion. So the force applied on a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum and inversely proportional to the time taken. So mathematically we can write this like this. Force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum by time taken, or force proportional to mv minus mu by t. What is mv and mu? Mv is final momentum and mu is the initial momentum. So this is F proportional to mv minus mu by t, or we can write this as this: F directly proportional or proportional to mass bracket v minus u by t. So as we have learned in the previous chapter, v minus u by t is acceleration. This we have learned in previous chapter, that this is the formula of acceleration. So this will give us force is directly proportional to ma. So whenever we have to remove this proportionality sign, we have to put a constant in the equation. So Newton has kept a constant k. So, and he has said that value of this constant k is 1. So this will give us force is equals to k m a, or k into m into a. So therefore force is equals to ma. So from here we got the formula of force. So let's move ahead now. Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Means to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Like if we push the wall will also push us with equal force. Means if we push a wall with imagine 10 Newton force, the wall will also push us with 10 Newton force. So there are some examples of this to prove it. Like this girl is giving force this side, and the ground or earth is moving it to the forward side. This is the reaction by which we can walk. We make or put a force on the ground, that is action, and which moves us ahead, that is reaction. So this is first example. And second example is, this boy is dropping a ball from his hand from a certain height, and this force applied by the boy is the action, and when the ball strikes with the ground, and then it will come again at the same height, and the force applied by the ground is the reaction of that. So this Newton's third law of motion we have understood. So let's move ahead now. This is our last topic, law of conservation of momentum. So according to the definition of momentum, so what is the definition? The law of conservation of momentum states that the total momentum of a system remains conserved in the absence of external force. Momentum can neither be created nor be destroyed. Means this is the only thing which you have to understand in this chapter. This is last topic. So the law of conservation of momentum says that total momentum of a system will remain conserved or remain same after an external force or in absence of external force. So momentum can neither be created nor be destroyed. So here we will prove it numerically. So according to the definition of momentum, initial momentum of an object 1, we have taken here object 1 and object 2. So initial momentum of object 1 will be m1 u1, and initial momentum of object 2 will be m2 u2. We have taken this like this. Initial momentum of object 1 is m1 u1, and initial momentum of object 2 is m2 u2. So the initial momentum of the total system will be m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So this is the total initial momentum or initial momentum of the system. Final momentum of object 1 will be what? Final momentum of the object 1 will be m1 v1, and final momentum of object 2 is equals to m2 v2, and the final momentum of the system will be m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So this will be the total momentum of the system or momentum of the system, final momentum of the whole system. This is the whole system. So action is equals to rate of change of momentum of car 1, or m1 under bracket v1 minus u1 by t. This is action, and reaction is m2 under bracket v2 minus u2 by t, and this is the rate of change of momentum of car 2. So this is reaction. As per Newton's third law of motion, action is equals to negative reaction or minus reaction. So m1 under bracket v1 minus u1 by t is equals to minus m2 under bracket v2 minus u2. So m2 under bracket v1 u1 is equals to minus m2 under bracket v2 minus u2. So this is the whole, so this will give us this m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equals to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So this we have described or proved the law of conservation of momentum. So this chapter we have completed. Let's revise all formulas given in the chapter. So all formula given in the chapter. So first is force is equal to mass into acceleration. This is force. P is equals to mass into velocity. This is momentum. And m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equals to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. This is law of conservation of momentum. So here we have completed this chapter. So for the further chapters of physics, chemistry and biology, please subscribe our channel Vidyadhara and continue watching our channel. Thank you so much.